Hey man, don't it seem like every other week there's some new plugin with some groundbreaking technology that promised to revolutionize the way that we mix records? Well, this video ain't that, but I do got something cool to show you.
Yeah. 20 air plugins with stock and Pro Tools that included all types of effects and EQs. Then have it so in music, that's good news. Cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too. If you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop. But truthfully, that black and green was kinda pooty poop. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI too. Called it the Creative Effect Collection 2. There's 40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a And they kept the classics that we used to. But they went and added 12 new boosts too. Ooh.
What's up YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyProAudio.com, your pro audio plugs for all the things pro audio, man. Now look, you just saw my video where I broke down a bunch of news about the Air Creative Collection. You probably, if you're a Pro Tools user or an MPC user, already are familiar with some of the Air plugins. And like I alluded to in my rap about this, they was just kind of dry, even though they were some really good effects, and some of them I really love, and I'm even using some of those older ones on this plugin. On this session that I'm working on now, they've been completely redesigned, especially the GUI, because I just hate looking at it. I hated looking at them black and green plugins, man. They just was not inspiring. So the new look, and also there's 12 brand new plugins to the Air Creative Collection for a really, really low price, man, super affordable. So if y'all interested in copying any of these plugins, some of them though, you might already own, especially if you are a Pro Tools user or an MPC user. But if you use any other DAW, now is a great opportunity because these plugins are no longer exclusive to just those platforms. You can use any of these Air Creative Collection plugins wherever you like to work, man. So let me just go ahead and break down what I've done in the session. You already heard the song. I'm gonna just go track by track and kind of break down my process and how I use the Air Creative Collection of plugins creatively in this mix. All right, so one of the first things that I did was address the beat. Let me bypass. I started off by using this Air Enhancer plugin. And so this is actually one of your first looks right now at the exclusive new or the newly redesigned look of some of these plugins. So they all kind of have this nice, modern, kind of really simple interface, right? There are not a lot of controls on any of the plugins really that I saw. There's a couple of them that get a little more complicated, but most of them are pretty simple and straightforward in the way that you can operate them, and you can start to create unique sounds pretty quickly. So let's bypass though the beat, and then you'll hear what I was hearing as I wanted to kind of enhance this 2-track beat. Oftentimes when we're working with a 2-track, we'll feel like our hands are tied. There's not much that we can do. Well, like small improvements, I feel like can make a big difference. So let's just hear some of this beat before, and then I'll play it after. Well, I'll take the enhancer off bypass. This will work if I turn my headphones up. Okay. So we're hearing that beat. Let's run it back. It kind of opens it up a little bit, right? To me, not only does it like enhance the high frequencies a little bit, it adds a little bit more lows. And then I just feel like the overall mix got wider. Maybe because some of those high frequencies and like the reverb and the atmosphere just kind of got louder, and so it helped to open up that beat. But again, that's a really small thing. All I did was start this plugin up and then just kind of really played around with the high gain, the low gain, and added a little harmonics, just really kind of adjusted stuff until I felt like it was adding some characteristics that I liked, and I was happy with that. So let's just go ahead and move on, and we'll just rock with the beat. Now let's listen to a little bit of this verse, and you can see the Air plugins. I have 1, 2, 3 Air plugins on this track. And of course, I'm using some of my favorite other plugins that I just already know and love that make it easier, but we'll focus on these Air plugins today.
20 Air plugins with stock and Pro Tools that included all types of effects and EQs. Then have the soul in music, that's good news, cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too.
Right? All right, bet. So the first one is the Air Kill EQ. Now, I have been using the Air Kill EQ for years, and I love how it looks now compared to the older way that it looked. Matter of fact, I think I can pull up the older one still. Let me show y'all real quick, just for a comparison. Nope, that ain't it. That's the other one again. Let's see if I can still get it. There it is. All right. So you can see that the difference here is really drastic. And it just makes it a whole lot more intuitive to use, right? So if you want to kill a specific frequency band, we got the lows, the mids, and the highs. It's really easy to kill it. Now, and when it say kill it, like it's literally cutting it out completely. There's times when I've had vocals with like the plosives mainly. That's when I mainly reach for this plugin, is when I'm getting too much plosives. Those P's and B's and stuff are popping through, creating that unwanted low frequency energy. If you use the Air Kill EQ and cut off about where I'm cutting off at 90 hertz, anything under there is completely obliterated. Like it's gone, man. It ain't even showing up.
20 Air plugins with stock and Pro Tools that included all types of effects and EQs. Then have it so in music, that's good news, cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too.
Right? All right, so now, like if I bypass this, we'll hear
20 Air plugins with stock and Pro Tools that included all types of effects and EQs. Then have it so in music, that's good news, cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too. If you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop.
Right? So some of those, look, there's just some of that low information just needed to get really chopped out of there. The Air Kill EQ just does a really good job.
Plugins with stock and Pro Tools that included
Immediately
all types of effects and EQs. Then have it so in music, that's good news, cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too.
And obviously you can adjust the frequency and all of that down there. I really love this plugin. And again, if you are ever dealing with issues of plosives, this is one that you should go to and kill that low frequency band that will handle those plosives. It's gonna work every single time. Let's move on. So another plugin that I had on here was this Air Flavor. So after I did some EQ work and some compression work, I was like, man, this thing is just missing something. It just needs some type of enhancement. So this is actually a new plugin to me. I think it's one of the newest ones that was added to the collection. I don't remember ever seeing this one, but when I got this bundle of plugins, I'm like, yo, Air Flavor, that actually sounds pretty dope. And so basically what I did was I just loaded up the sizzle preset in here for the vocals. Just go to the preset, and I loaded up the sizzle, and I think I may have adjusted the depth or added a little bit of distortion on there. But wow, let's hear this vocal before and after that sizzle.
Two, if you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop. But truthfully, that black and green was kind of pooty poop. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI 2. Called it the creative.
That's really adding some nice sizzle.
40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a. And they kept the classics that we used to, but they went and added 12 new boosts too.
All right, so that was another one, man. You know I love like kind of saturation, added to my vocals, and I think that really helped. Let's listen to that sizzle come in context with the music.
If you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop.
This is where it really shines.
That black and green was kind of pooty poop. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI 2. Called it the Creative Effect Collection 2. There's 40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a. And they kept the classics that we used to, but they went and added 12 new boosts too.
All right, so you hear what I'm saying. And then another thing that I like to do, man, this is a trick I picked up a while ago, is like literally adding some limiting or a maximizer on my vocal track. That's just gonna make sure that vocal has the punch and the presence that a rap vocal like this needs, right? To be energetic and in your face for the whole duration. So I'm using the Air Maximizer. Now this thing is super easy to use. You just simply set a threshold, right? You can set your output ceiling. You even have some advanced features on here, like the ability to fold your low frequencies into mono, which I also had used this on my mix bus, and I did do some of that. That's one of those things that I find on plugins rarely, but I really love once that feature is in there, man. So here we go. Let's listen to before and after the maximizer. You can hear that a lot of that energy is kind of drops down.
So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI too. Called it the Creative Effect Collection too. There's 40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a. And they kept the classics that we used to, but they went and added 12 new boosts too. If you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop. But truthfully, that black and green was kind of pooty poop. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI too. Called it the Creative Effect Collection too.
All right, so you got me on that, right? And then from there, that's really all I did as far as the processing directly on the channel. And then I'm using some of the Air Reverb that was really cool. Again, a totally new redesigned plugin. I think this Reverb sounds really, really good. And one of the main things I love about a Reverb that has the built-in EQ or built-in like filters in it, because I'm always like cutting off high frequencies pretty aggressively, and the same thing with low frequencies as well. So I'm really rolling those off, and yeah, just kind of chose, you know, the correct timing and the mix of the reverb that I wanted in there. And yeah, I just used a little taste of it. Now, something that it does stick out for me as well is this Air Chorus plugin. This is a really dope effect. I always like to use like doublers and choruses on my plugins, on my vocals. And this one, it was just simple to use. So let's just bypass this send so we can hear what the vocal sounded like without it.
That included all types of effects and EQs. Then have this in music, that's good news. Cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too. If you got an MPC,
so very subtle.
The scoop. But truthfully, that black and green was kind of
right.
Cool. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI too. Called it the Creative Effect Collection too. There's 40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a.
Right, and so I just wanted to add a little bit of stereoization to that vocal. So let's go ahead and move on now to the next track. This next track is gonna be my stabs, and I should have labeled this track, huh? Oh, look at me. I got let's just name that one lead. All right, cool. So with these stabs, let's bring that one in now. We'll just mute these ad-libs.
Plugins with stock and Pro Tools.
Right, one of the first things you're gonna hear is, yes, this is a mono track, but it sounds like it's multiple voices.
20 Air plugins with stock and Pro Tools. That included all types of effects and EQs. Then have this in music, that's good news.
Right, so what I wanted to do obviously was push those stabs out to the sides so they're not just kind of sitting behind that lead vocal. And so I achieved that by, of course, I used the Air Kill EQ and I rolled off a good amount of those low frequencies, but I mainly just inserted this chorus of multi-chorus plugin directly on that channel. Played around with some settings. I started off with the slow chorus preset. They have some really dope presets already in this plugin for us. Yeah, and then I just kind of made my own minor adjustments from there. It was really simple. As you see, there's very few controls on here, so you don't have to spend all day tinkering away with the plugin. You can get a sound that you like pretty quickly.
Then have this in music, that's good news. Cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too. If you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop. But truthfully, that black and green was kind of pooty poop. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI too. Called it the Creative Effect Collection too. There's 40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a. And they kept the classics that we used to, but they went and added 12 new boosts too. Ooh.
All right, and now let's take a listen to the ad-libs, yo. So the ad-libs, again, I kept these pretty simple. I used my Air Kill EQ to get rid of unwanted frequencies on this ad-lib track. I used the Air Chorus effect, not the multi-chorus, but this is an even simply more simple chorus effect. Again, I love that new design. Really simple and easy to use. Just a couple of buttons and knobs to be able to get the sound that you want. And then I delayed it a little bit. Now for the delay, I'm actually using this brand new Delay Pro plugin from Air plugins, and I chose the Smooth Quarters preset. All right, up in here, somewhere here is Smooth Quarters preset. And of course, I had to make some adjustments to make it fit exactly what I want. But this is one of those plugins that I said that is more advanced. And you can see how it does have a lot more controls. But I love how everything is kind of color coded and it gives your eyes visual places to go. And again, that's just going to make it really kind of a lot easier to be able to navigate the plugin. Let's hear what the delay effect is doing on these ad-libs.
Yeah. 20 Air plugins with stock and Pro Tools.
I'ma turn it up just to exaggerate.
EQs. Then have this in music, that's good news. Cause don't matter what DAW you choose, you can use them too. If you got an MPC, then you knew the scoop. But truthfully, that black and green was kinda pooty poop. So they redesigned the plugin, the GUI too. Called it the Creative Effect Collection too. There's 40 plugins for just $130. Produce, mix, master, I don't give a fuck. And they kept the classics that we used to. But they went and added 12 new boosts too. Ooh.
That is the Air Creative Collection suite of plugins, man. Some of these are really, really amazing. Some of them we are brand new to, and some of them we're already familiar with. They just look a little bit different. And with that new GUI change, they're actually easier to use and actually more enjoyable for me, because I don't want to see that black and green screen. It was kind of poo, man. Shout out to InMusic and Air for sponsoring this video. I'm Wavy Wayne from WavyProAudio.com, man. Which of these Air plugins have you already been using, and which ones are you excited to try out? Let me know down in the comments if any of these spoke to you, and make sure y'all be dope.